I know firsthand that planning daycare meals for upwards of 10 kids can be really, really hard, especially with picky eaters and all of the other stuff that goes into being a daycare provider. And I get comments all the time on my weekly Instagram photos of what we ate, and here on YouTube just saying like, how do you do it? Do they actually eat it? I don't know how you stay on top of it. How do you always make so many different kinds of meals? And so I thought it was time to do another daycare meal tips video. So that's what we're doing today. Before I jump into the tips, I wanted to share with you guys, because a lot of you guys loved my daycare meal planner. If you don't know what it is, I will link to it below, but basically it's a meal planner that I created that you can meal plan for your daycare or family or both in one place, and it can hang on your fridge with these. I have a whole video about it. I will link in the description if you're interested. But those and our other products are now on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'm transferring everything over to that website just because I think it's a lot easier for everyone. I did announce it a couple weeks ago on our Instagram, Facebook, and community tab here on YouTube, but I haven't actually mentioned it in a video. So if you are interested in any products we have that can make your life a little bit easier, head on over to my Teachers Pay Teachers store, and I plan to add a lot more over the coming months. So stay tuned for that. But now let's jump right into the tips, because I know you guys don't have a lot of time. So I personally serve breakfast, lunch, and PM snack every day to my daycare. Sometimes I'll throw in a morning snack if I feel like they need it, but it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you really do think about it, that's a lot of cooking, that's a lot of food you're giving to children, and it's a lot of planning. And I just like to make some things really simple. So my very first tip is to keep breakfast and snacks pretty much the same every day, especially for breakfast. I do the exact same breakfast every single week. Sometimes I do them on different days, but they're very simple and easy. And I also have a lot going on during breakfast, especially during the school year. I will have buses coming and going, kids coming and going, and it's just kind of crazy. So I stick to the same breakfast. They may not be fancy. They may not be the most healthy, amazing home-cooked meals you've ever seen, but they're practical. The kids eat them and they do what they need to do, which is give them energy and fuel for the day. So I serve on any given week pancakes, English muffins, bagels, waffles, and then cereal. And I usually just do like plain Cheerios or Honey Nut Cheerios for the cereal. And then I just kind of rotate between. Sometimes I'll throw in a peanut butter toast. You know, sometimes I give syrup with the waffles and pancakes, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I put peanut butter on the toast or the English muffin or the bagel or the waffle or the pancakes. So I mix it up a little bit, but it's pretty much the exact same thing. And then I just throw whatever fruit is easy to throw on the plate. So if I have cut up fruit, I'll throw that on. Blueberries are great because I don't need to do anything but wash them. Bananas are easy. Oranges, sometimes I'll do canned pears or canned oranges, depending on if I'm getting low on produce for that week. But I just try to keep it simple so that I can just literally grab some stuff and throw it on the plates and it's pretty much done. Tip number 2 for lunches is to have some kind of theme for the day. This really, really helps me when it comes to planning, because I like to plan on a monthly or bi-monthly basis. I really hate planning the planning part, so I just try to do it in bulk. And so it's really easy to think of things when you just plan a theme for the day. So some theme ideas for you might be like Italian, Mexican, American, or it could be like pasta day, tuna day, egg day, pizza day. I do pizza day every Friday where we do different kinds of pizza every week. You might have a sandwich, quesadilla day, a dip lunch day, or like parfait day where you do different mix-ins. You might have a soup day or a instant pot day or a casserole day or a reuse your supper day. The possibilities are endless, but just try to think, at least maybe not every day have a theme, but maybe every Monday you do pasta, and every Wednesday you reuse your supper, and every Friday you do pizza. It just really makes it simple then when you're going into plan, because there's only 2 other days that you have to come up with new ideas. And that really, really helps me streamline and not repeat, because each of those categories has so many different kinds of foods I can make for them. And so it's really easy to think of different ideas and have a variety for the kids throughout the week. For me personally, I like to only serve lunches 1 to 3 times a week with more expensive meats that need to be prepared. So like your ground meats, your chicken breast, you know, that kind of stuff where you have to cook it. I try to only do those 1 to 3 times a week. And then I try to fill in with like no meat days, egg days, tuna days, You know, we'll do yogurt or cottage cheese instead of meat, and that really helps with the budget, and it also helps with time, because if you're having to cook 5 different kinds of meats throughout the week, that can be a lot. If I make chicken on the weekend, I might use it in 2 different meals for the daycare. I might do a ground beef, or I might just do those 2 chicken and then do different kinds of meats for the other meals, or proteins for the other meals, because there's peanut butter as well. There's so many different things you can do besides meat that will save you time and money in the kitchen. Tip number 4 is to reuse your suppers. Now, I don't do this a ton because I only have 2 little kids, so I'm not making like a giant casserole or something every single night. It just would never get eaten. But I do this 1 to 2 times a week. I will make a pasta dish or a bigger item for my family, or taco meat or something, and then I'll repurpose it or reuse it for the daycare the next day or in 2 days, and just keep it in the fridge. And this really makes it simple. I try not to do it usually the day after or that same night, like have it for lunch and then have it for supper, because my kids would have to eat it twice in a row. But you know, if you don't have really little kids, or they don't care, they love your food, then it really doesn't matter, and it can really save you a lot of time. Tip number 5, if you guys have seen my meals, you know I don't do anything very fancy for side dishes. Could I do better? Could I have quinoa and rice and sauteed what have you on the side for every single meal? Yes, I could. But is that practical? No. Will the kids actually eat that every day? No. And is that helping me be a better provider? And will that help the kids overall? No. Because if I'm slaving away in the kitchen, cooking all these extra things when I'm already really focused on the entree, I'm going to be stressed out, and it's not going to be good for anyone. So I just like to keep it pretty simple. You know, I'll throw in some cooked potatoes, or I've done, you know, sauteed zucchini or broccoli with ranch or cheese, or like, you know, switch it up a little bit here and there. But in general, I just do raw vegetables. I might cook them or steam them in the microwave. But besides that, I pretty much do, for veggies, I'll do like peppers, sugar snap peas, carrots, sweet peppers, pickles, salad, you know, and then I might throw in a frozen veggie here or there when I'm running out of stuff in the fridge. But in general, I don't do anything too fancy. And then for fruit, I literally just grab a fruit and either cut it up or just put it right on their plate, depending on what it is. I don't get too fancy with the side dishes. I really focus on the entrees, and I will cut them up differently, or sometimes I'll put like the fruit with yogurt or something like that to make it different, so that if a kid is having trouble trying things, they might try it in that different way. But in general, I try to keep it simple with the side dishes. I kind of mentioned this before, but I also like to reuse ideas and repurpose things to serve them in a different way, so that it's new and exciting for the kids, but it's not a lot of work for me, and it's getting them used to different variations of things. So like for eggs, there's so many different ways you can prepare eggs. I might do an egg taco. I might do just fried eggs with cheese or no cheese. I might do hard-boiled eggs. I might do deviled eggs. I might do an egg cheese sandwich. So I'm repurposing something that's very simple, cost-effective, healthy, but serving it in different ways. Same with veggies. Sometimes I do raw veggies, sometimes I cook them, sometimes I cut them a certain way, sometimes I don't cut them. And all of that is helping kids learn to eat it in a different way. Tacos is another great one. I've done taco Pop-Tarts, I've done taco cups, I've done taco roll-ups with quesadilla, like tortilla wrappers. I've done like taco pizza, taco pasta. Like there's so many different ways you can serve that, and generally the taste is pretty much the same, but it looks different, it feels different, and it's fun for the kids. So that's a way to stretch something in many different ways. Maybe you make tacos one week, you freeze the rest of the meat, and then you make it in a new way the next week. But the kids don't know that it really didn't take you any more time. Tip number 7 is to keep snacks simple. I know by the end of the day, I am just out of ideas, tired. I may have these grand plans of like fruit pizza and this and that, but by the end of nap, I'm just tired, and I just want to get a little bit of food in them to last them till supper with their parents, and I don't worry too much about it. So I really just keep it very simple. I try to do kind of like theme days for snacks as well. So I'll do 2 days with like a fruit and something else. I'll do 1 day with a veggie and something else. And then I'll do 2 days with like a cracker and something else. So for example, 2 days would be like fruit with yogurt, or fruit with string cheese, or fruit with goldfish, or something like that. And then I'll have 1 day with like carrots and dip, and then 2 more days of like crackers and cheese, or graham cracker and raisins, or petty grahams with something else, you know, I'll have a hard time, pretzels with hummus, you know, some kind of like grain with something else. And this just helps me because I know they'll eat it. It's not hard to prepare. Usually one of the things is in my pantry and one is in the fridge, so it's not completely like shelf stable things all the time, but it's about balance. And I know because I usually work really hard on our lunches that it's okay to have graham crackers or animal crackers for snack 1 to 2 days a week. It's not gonna kill them. My next tip is to meal prep. I mean, can you get through a saving time in the kitchen video without talking about meal prepping? I meal prep every Sunday. It's not super hard. It usually takes about an hour. I do love 5 Dinners 1 Hour. I've used a lot of their recipes in the past and still am a subscriber. So I used to like to prep those meals and reuse a lot of them for lunches with the leftovers, because we are a small family, so we wouldn't usually eat the whole meal every night that we prepared. But now that I've done keto and now Weight Watchers, it's a little trickier with meals that don't come from like a Weight Watchers friendly website or cookbook, so I haven't been doing that as often. But what I do now is 1 to 2 meals for supper that I will prep on the weekend, and then I'll reuse those for daycare meals. Sometimes I will also make a daycare snack that my kids will also eat in the morning. So like a healthy muffin, a healthy granola bar, little things like that with healthier ingredients that I know what they are and where they came from. And I will repurpose those for snacks for the kids throughout the week. And then that's also when I prep my lunch, because I often am not eating what the kids eat because I'm on Weight Watchers. So that's a good way to fit that in as well. If you are eating differently than the kids, you can prep it all on the weekend and then just reheat it throughout the week, so you aren't trying to make 2 different meals at the same time. As far as going out on a limb and trying something new or creative or seeing if kids really like things like that, I do that maybe once to twice a month. Most of the meals I make, I've made before or some variation, so I know in general which kids will actually eat it, what things on their plate they'll eat. And I go out on a limb and try something brand new 1 to 2 times a month. So I know because people see these weekly posts, it feels like I'm probably trying new things all the time, but I'm really not, you guys, and you only see just a little glimpse. So don't put yourself down if you are doing a recurring menu every 2 weeks. It's the same thing. Give yourself grace. Maybe find some ways to kind of alter it a little bit if you're feeling like you should, but in general, we have so much on our plates, no pun intended, that if you're doing the best you can, that's good enough. And then lastly, something I don't think providers talk about enough, and we often want to please and we want to care for others and we want to do the best we can. We forget that we aren't alone in this. Some other providers may be serving really fancy, amazing things, and that's okay. If they want to do that, great. But I really think a big portion of the puzzle as far as eating and meal planning and meal prepping goes is on the parents. If the parents want them trying salmon or want them trying things and they see what you're serving, they can fill in the gaps. If they really want them trying these other things that you aren't serving, that can be on them. Of course, you can have a conversation about it, but it's so different when we're serving for so many different kids under the age of 5 usually, and a lot of them are picky. Some won't even eat it. It's so hard to want to go spend your extra money on the really nice meats or the fancier things when you don't even know if they'll eat it, when you feel like it's going to go to waste. So if parents really want their kids to try different things that you're not serving, they can totally do that when the kids are home with them. So don't feel like it's solely your responsibility for every type of food the kids will eat. That's also part of the parents' responsibility. We definitely have a responsibility to some degree, but it can't all fall on us. They're not our children. So I hope you guys found these tips helpful. I would love to know what tips you guys have as well to save time, money, and sanity in the kitchen when it comes to daycare meals. Please head over to our community tab and you can find the thumbnail for this video and comment there since YouTube has disabled our comments. Like I said earlier, if you are interested in that daycare meal planner or any other products that I offer to help save you time, please check out our Teachers Pay Teachers store. We would love to have you as a follower and create content for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye guys. And I just noticed my coffee was in the background of this video, which is very fitting. That's probably tip 11. Just drink a lot of coffee and everything will be okay.